After taking over responsibility, the interim government set out for a new course in our democratic journey. And in that, one of the key features was different reform initiatives, particularly that of constitutional reform and electoral process reforms. Some of those reforms have already been adopted, which did not need any referendum or any other provision, so to say. But the important reforms that constitute constitutional reforms will undergo a referendum. And eventually, therefore, the 13th parliamentary election is not only an election of the parliament, is also going to be a referendum using two different ballots on the same day. So that's the context. For our international friends, I'll give a brief overview of what Bangladesh is. People who are here for the first time, it is a country with nearly 180 million people, with an area of 147,570 square kilometers. We have 8 administrative divisions in the country and 64 districts, administrative districts. Our municipal areas include 12 city corporations and 330 municipalities. The country is divided into 300 parliamentary constituencies. So there are 300 seats. Tomorrow we are going to hold election in 299 of them. One had to be dropped because of the demise of a candidate as per law.
RFL chair, ক্ষমতার নয় সমতার চেয়ার।
Bangladesh has a parliamentary democracy, and you are all aware of that. President is the head of the state and the Prime Minister heads the government. That is the existing structure. It has a unicameral parliament. By the way, the referendum also includes the bicameral structure. As the Chief Election Commissioner has already indicated, we have 350 seats in the parliament. That include 50 seats reserved for the women. And tenure of the parliament is 5 years. Our system is that of first past the post. It is a multi-party democracy, and each MP, a member of parliament, is elected from its relevant constituency. The 50 female candidates are elected as of the provision that exists today by the 300 other members. Just to add with the Chief Election Commissioner, the schedule was declared on 11th of December. Nominations were filed on or before 29th of December 2025, followed by its scrutiny in next 5 days. Candidates were allowed time to withdraw candidature if they wanted to. More than 300 withdrew, and that last day of withdrawal was 20th of January. 21st of January was the day when the lists were finalized and symbols were assigned to the individual candidates, and campaigning began. The campaigning for the election was for 19 days to be exact, and the poll is due tomorrow. We have approximately 128 million voters, and given the number, in 2026, the election in Bangladesh is the largest election anywhere in the world. I know the international election management bodies have gone through a hectic schedule in 2024-25, which was known as super year for election. But this is super year for Bangladesh and maybe for many more. 69 returning officers have been assigned, covering 299 constituencies. They are being assisted by 598 assistant returning officers, we have 42,950 polling stations that include 299 postal ballot polling stations, and in-person polling stations will have booths. Every polling station has number of booths. So total number of booths will be 246,728. Just to give you an assessment of the number of polling officials, other than the returning officer and the assistant returning officer, close to 0.800,000 polling officials will be involved in conduct of the election. That includes one presiding officer for each of the polling stations. That comes to around 42,950. 246,000 plus assistant presiding officer and close to 500,000 polling officers. To give you a little bit of breakdown of the candidates, a total of 2,028 candidates are participating in 299 constituencies. That include 81 female, around 4% to be exact. And of these 2,028 candidates, majority are from political parties. 50 political parties are participating in this. Around 1,750 from political parties, and rest independent candidates are participating in the election. Ladies and gentlemen, the legal framework for election process in Bangladesh includes the constitutional provision, election-related laws and rules, administrative laws and rules, and other relevant laws and rules as it exists today. If you have, particularly members of the electoral management bodies, if you have interest in knowing, I would refer you to the representation of the People's Order of 1972, which has been amended up to 2025, political parties registration rules of 2008, conduct rules for political parties and candidates corrected up to 2025, independent candidates rule of 2011, reserved seats for Women Election Act of 2004, Constituencies Act of 2021 amended or rather corrected up to 2025, and Election Officers Special Provision Act of 1991 amended in 2025. Besides, for the officials of the Election Commission conducting the election, there is a rule called Election Conduct Rule amended up to 2025. For the observers and media personnel, both from home and abroad, we have guidelines. And these guidelines are given in booklets. I have those in hand. I'm sure you are in possession of this. If you are not, I would request you to collect one from our colleagues here. Okay. These guidelines are rather unchanged for people who have participated before. Only there have been few amendments related to covering different areas related to staying inside the polling station.